I don't know if I could love a human baby more than I love these books. Sal Waite, everybody. It's the Lux Princess here with my reading list. I also filmed this video before and it was way too long, so I'm going to do my best to speed through these books as quickly as I can. I'm just going to show you guys these books that I am reading either currently or that I want to read into 2019. Book number one. The Lives of the Caesars by Suetonius. Suetonius was a, not exactly, we don't call him a historian in the classical world because he's more of like a gossip blogger more than anything else. But it's basically chronicling the lives of the Caesars told in a biographical standpoint. And I'm a Caesar fangirl. Julius Caesar is my guy. I've been saying Caesar's my boyfriend for years. So it'll be really cool to get to know, what the common people thought about the Caesars. Not necessarily the common people, but what people in that time period thought about the Caesars, because obviously they wouldn't be reading. Most of the people in this time period didn't read. Reading was something that was held for the upper echelon. But I won't read this whole thing because it's about like 12 Caesars, I think. But I'm pretty sure it's 12 Caesars. I think sometimes this book is also titled The 12 Caesars. But the only ones that I have real interest in are the main dude, Gaius Julius Caesar, the Caesar that got stabbed that everybody knows about. Nero, because he's a nut. Caligula, because also a nut. And it'll be nice to get a standpoint of history that isn't necessarily thought of as 100% fact, which is a very risky thing to say in classical studies because nothing is really 100% fact. We go off of the artifacts that we have and by the texts that are left behind. And a text like this isn't necessarily very true. He wasn't really a historian. So anyway, yeah, that's the Lives of the Caesars. Moving right along. Books number 2. The Iliad. Now, anybody who's ever been to school or opened their eyes or breathed knows that the Iliad is the story of Helen of Troy, this beautiful lady. And you're probably wondering why I have 2 copies of the same book. It's because they are transcribed differently. Anybody who knows anything knows that when you translate one story from one language into another language, especially if that language is ancient, there's 1,000,001 different translations on what it could be. So as a classicist, it's good to read not only some of the main stories, but when you read the main stories, to read different versions of each story, because you never know what type of perspective was going on, what the political climate was. Is it a piece of propaganda? Is it perpetuating some idea started by, you know, the hierarchy of those in charge? Is it something that people just talked about and was a religious text? You never know. So it's important to read the different versions of these. Also, Homer is the guy. Everybody knows who Homer is. And, you know, this was right before the Odyssey, the story of Odysseus trying to get home. This is the story of the war before all of that. This war went on for years and years. I think it was like 12 or something. I don't know. I'm gonna read the book. I'm gonna find out. But I'm sure I do know somewhere deep in my brain. But yeah. So the Iliad, the classic story, Helen of Troy. Not gonna spend too much time on this anymore. And we're moving right along. I didn't mean that. I love you. I'm sorry. Okay, so this next book I'm really excited to read. It's called SPQR, and it's by Mary freaking Beard. She is thebomb.com. Love me some Mary Beard. Love me a good Mary Beard BBC documentary. Hello. Mary Beard, if you are watching this, I love you so much from the bottom of my heart, depths of my soul. You are an amazing inspiration to women everywhere, especially those of us who want to partake in academia, particularly in the field of classics, because she is the truth. Mary Beard, man, it's just amazing. So from what I can gather and what I've read online from the inside cover, SPQR is a new perspective on how we view ancient Rome and the way people live their lives throughout it. When it comes to classics, I always say that I'm a classicist and that, you know, I have my different loves and everything. But as a Latin scholar, I'm always going to be more Roman based than Greek based. I don't want to hear it. I don't care about y'all attitude. You can be mad that I choose Rome over Greece. But guess what? The winner's right. History. Anyway, SPQR means, well, I think the Latin of it is Senatus Populusque Romanus? Yeah, Senatus Populusque Romanus, which translates as the Senate and the people of Rome. What better title to have for a Roman history? It's perfect. Also, Mary Beard, if you are watching this somewhere in the World Wide Web, I would love to get your signature inside this book at some point in my life, because I'm a huge fangirl and I would die if I ever got to sit into one of your lectures. Let's move right along. We're chugging right along in this thing. I'll grab this because it's close to me and it is what I'm currently reading right now. It's called The Secret History. We're chugging right along in this thing. I'll grab this because it's close to me and it is what I'm currently reading. The Secret History. It's about this guy named Richard. I'm pretty sure there's a murder involved. I'm only 188 pages in. But from what I can tell, this is just something that it's leisure reading. I have no rush, no deadline to read this book. So I'm really, really excited to finish it. It's very interesting. Donna Tartt paints a beautiful picture with her words, and it's very entertaining to partake in it, and it draws you in. Like the last lines that I read just had me sitting on edge, like, what is gonna happen? And then Shawty played me and she moved on and changed the subject. I'm like, I know she did not. And now I don't know what page to pick back up on because I don't know what's gonna happen, so I just gotta read the book. But yeah, The Secret History is proving to be very, very good read. Recommended 10 out of 10. Moving on. Okay, now this one is super special to me and very, very cool. It was a gift. It was actually a birthday gift for me this year, and probably one of the best gifts that I've ever received in my life. This is a copy of the works of Virgil from 1882, and I'll go ahead and open this up for y'all so y'all can see how old it is. It's falling apart a little, but it's got his full name in there. P. Virgilius Maro, Publius Virgilius Maro. That's the Latin for y'all out there. I know y'all like it when I say my Latin. I sound sexy. Anyway, yeah, it was published in 1882. And I don't know if you guys can see that there. 1882. It's an interlinear translation. It's supposed to be a works of Virgil, so it's not just the Aeneid. I don't know what else he's written besides the Eclogues, but that's what I have the book for. In between the Latin lines are the translated lines in English, and this was used as a tool, I'm assuming, back in the day for students to learn and translate and learning, you know, Latin in that manner. It's funny now because nobody would ever teach Latin in that manner now because we've evolved, as you do. So, you know, nobody's still washing their clothes the same way as they did in 1882 unless you're like Amish, and like that has nothing to do with this because Amish people ain't even watching YouTube. So, you know, but yeah, it's a really cool thing to have, though, a really nice piece of history that has a record of history. So I love that book, and I can't wait to get my hot little hands on it and have a good read of it. So, I mean, I gently set it down. I didn't throw it like the Iliad, but those are paperbacks, they'll be fine. But I had to just set it down gently because it's old. He's old. Next we have Roman Perspectives. Now, I bought this book at a book fair when I was at university. Honestly, when you're a dork, you still get excited for the book fair. Like, I was in college and I was just as lit as I was when I was like 8 at a Scholastic book fair. I'm like, yes, oh my God, yeah. But, yeah, so Roman Perspectives was written by John Matthews, and I got it because it's the Roman perspective on things, and it's written by a person who's been in the field longer than I have. This man has a book out, so he obviously knows what he's doing. And I thought it would be a great source to pull from for, it's the basis of classics, political, economic, cultural structures in that society in that point in time. So I'm really, really excited to read this. A super cool thing about this as well, in tandem with it, and I think I will put the video over here because I do have another book that I bought along with this one, and it's an ebook. I've had them for the same amount of time, but the cool thing about it is I met the author of the ebook. So up next we have Greek Tragedies. Now, most of my books, like I've mentioned, are Roman, but this is Greek. It says it right there on the title, Greek Tragedies. And it's got the works of Aeschylus, Sophocles, and Euripides. Now, Aeschylus wrote the Eumenides, and these are all plays. Like, the tragedies are plays. So there's probably gonna be a rape. There's going to be some murder. There's going to be some familial murder. There's going to be like a fratricide, a patricide, a soricide, like everybody dying. It's going to be some angry gods, some deities messing stuff up. Speaking of which, it does have the Bacchae in it, which is something that I've been dying to read. Because Bacchus or Dionysus or Dionysius, however you pronounce the god of wine's name, is also the god of getting lit. So basically, from my understanding, the Bacchae is a story about how Bacchus comes along and he possesses all these women and they go crazy. It's just, your classic Greek tragedy. One of the parts of Greece that I do enjoy. They know how to make a crazy play. They know how to make an entertaining play. And of course, y'all know I had to do it to them. I saved the best for last. I don't know if I could love a human baby more than I love these books. For real. Yeah, so I've got our grammar and exercises and the text and vocabulary. Pretty cut and dry. I've been studying Latin since I was 15 years old, so this isn't necessarily a beginner's learning Latin. I'm sure that a beginner could pick it up, an intensive course by themselves with it. I mean, like, I'm doing a course by myself and I'm taking my sweet precious time with it, so why can't you? If you want to learn you some Latin, shawty, head over to Amazon and get these books. They're like $14-15 I think a piece, and that's like with shipping. I think the books are like $12 or $13. These are the books that I used in my Latin class at university. It's written in a play format. A lot of the stories are, so it's got the Latin on this side and the vocabulary on this side. So while you're reading through the story, you're picking up new words and learning them as you use them throughout the play. This is the fun part. This is cookies. This is the easy part, okay? Pajamas with footies. Like, this is easy. This is the part that scares people. People say that Latin is the math of languages, and I get why they say that because it's very multifaceted and complex. But this is why I love it. These are Greek declensions. Now, that's even scary to me because, like, Greek? Are you kidding? Got all of these different things and subsections and understandings of grammar. You've got declensions and conjugations and all these different groupings of words, and it goes on and on and on and on and on. And it's really easy to get confused, but once you know that formula, that's it. Like, it's easy. And that's coming from somebody who studied Latin for nearly 10 years. It's been 8. All right, so that will conclude my classical studies reading list. I really hope you guys enjoyed that. I hope you pulled some inspiration from it, maybe even learned a little piece of something about mythology or classics that you didn't know before. Thank y'all again so much for watching. As per usual, if you like this video, give me a thumbs up. Question of the vlog is going to be, what's your favorite myth? Greek or Roman? I don't care. Just tell me. Leave a comment down below and let me know. Okay. So yeah, that's gonna do it for me here, guys. I will catch you in the next one tomorrow for Youtober vlog number 5. So Walete. I'll catch you in the next one.
Read a book, read a book, read a motherfucking book. READ